morning, Facebook family and friends, my faithful lawyer YouTube subscribers. Today it is Tuesday, the 25th of September. The year is 2018. Okay, so yesterday I did a video about no, I did not choose to be gay. And in that video response, I got some emails from people about who want to bring up the subject of buck breaking. Buck breaking is an urban legend that has been the buck breaking of slaves. A lot of black folks believe this urban legend that black folks that during slavery, slaves, white gay slave owners would sexually abuse and degrade their male slaves in front of other slaves to demonstrate their power and mastery over them. Some black people actually believe that during slavery, large groups of white men would bring all the slaves together and they would rape black slaves in front of the other slaves. This is a myth. It is not true. It is false. There was never, there are no historical accounts anywhere to validate buck breaking as being a valid anything that took place. Now, some black folks want to believe this nonsense because they want to say, well, buck breaking is the reason why this is how black folks were introduced to homosexuality, which is a lie. Homosexuals were all over Africa long before white folks found the continent of Africa. They were gays all over the damn continent. There's historical proof of that, but they don't want to believe that either. So black people are just determined that they're going to make it out there. White folks are responsible for homosexuality in the black community. So they've come up with this fictional accounting of buck breaking. It is fictional. It is false. It is myth. Now, in Atlanta, Georgia, we have a library called the African American Historical. What is it called? Oh shit! Now I'm over here having a brain fart. It is the African American Library of what is the name of this damn library? Because I want to get it right. Because I want y'all to go down there. So African American Library, Atlanta, but it's actually the correct name of it is the Auburn Avenue Research Library. I don't know how I got that because I met Earl. Earl used to work there when I first met him in 1996. It's the Auburn Avenue Research Library. And it's also known as the African American Auburn Avenue Research Library on African American culture and history. It is the bomb. I love that place. I've been there numerous times, and I've been there a few years ago to research this. Now, they have thousands of books. If you want to know anything about African American history in the United States of America, go there. There's so much to learn. So much information there. It's a beautiful, they just did a massive multi-million-dollar renovation on that facility, and none of us go down there to visit it. So, but we'll sit on the internet and pass false urban myths around. But if someone's going to do research, see, is this real? Is this true? Let's find out if this is accurate before I spread this lie. But they don't. We just pass the meme on to the next person. The next person believes it to be true. And we go read these fictional articles written by who knows who. And if it's on the internet, it's got to be real. Just that I never gave you niggas internet. My mother is ringing this phone off the hook this morning. I thought I'd put that phone on loop. Anyway, I know people be complaining. Anyway, black people need to start doing some research before they go around here spreading false stuff and believe it to be true. Do your own research. So I could point out certain books and articles and I say, I want you to do your own research. I want you to get up off your fucking ass, drive downtown to Atlanta, Georgia, park your car in that parking lot and walk into the Auburn Avenue Research Library and ask any of those historians in there. I'm trying to find out if it's true that buck breaking was real. Did these slave owners molest and rape slaves in front of our... Is this accurate? And you get the truth. It is an urban myth. It is false. But if you sit at home, on the internet, on Facebook, sharing a bunch of nonsense and going to a bunch of stupid sites owned by people who are not historians, who have no history. Here's the funny part. You get all this, people strongly believe this mess about buck breaking, but there's no historical data to prove it. Nothing. That's why I said go down to Auburn Avenue Research Library and get you some information and read up. And you can and not only learn about buck breaking, but learn about your history as a black race of people. See, we don't know anything about history. Used to be taught in schools. They don't teach it no more. I grew up in Gary, Indiana. We had a very good understanding of the African American community. I best it could on the school level. But now as adults, continue to educate yourself so you know who you are. So we can quit spreading false lies on the internet, believing in an urban myth that's not true. I've had so many people send me information about this buck breaking mess, and I was just like, I never heard this before. I went down there to the Auburn Avenue Research Library, walked into that place, and I walked into that place, and I learned that this was false, which I already knew was false. I couldn't find no information on it. And the funny part is, I went in there about 2-3 years ago, and I was talking to a guy. He said, I don't know why people believe this, because I've did so much research on it. And he had a collection of books already ready to prove none of this was accurate. And I'm also going to give you all a link at the end of this on my post. I want you all to read it by a historian on a site called Reddit, who also researched buck breaking and also came back to the same conclusion: it is false. And he broke the reasons why down. It was completely false. Why it was a myth? Were slaves sexually assaulted, were male slaves sexually assaulted by slave owners? Yes, that's of course, we all know that did happen, but not on the way these memes describe: a large setting of lots of slaves out in the open. They make it clear that if there was the sexual abuse that did happen to male slaves was done privately. Because don't forget, that was an era in sodomy, and that was not something that was tolerated in public. There was no public setting where slaves were raped and assaulted in front of other slaves to prove their dominance. This is all false. The whole buck breaking thing is a myth. This is the urban myth. I don't know who created this mess. But black folks have taken it and ran with it instead of researching it. Finding out, is this true or is this accurate? Kind of like Jesus. They don't want to go research that either. That's frightening to me about black folks, how we don't want to read and research and gain knowledge. That we'll take something that somebody has passed down from generations and say, is this accurate? Let me go see if this is true. Where is the historical data to prove this? At the Auburn Avenue Research Library on African American culture, there's so much stuff. It's a massive facility dedicated to the education of black folks. Some of you may not even know that place exists. A multi-million-dollar facility, beautiful, tons of stuff in there to gain information. They'll love to see you all walk in there and ask questions. They will answer those questions for you. They'll research it. They'll give you copies of documentation. They'll show they have computers. They have so much stuff down there. It is unreal. But we drive by it on our way to Magic City. I wonder about black folks and why we run from education. I already know why. Just like they beat Jesus into us, they beat ignorance into us too. So we don't necessarily support intelligent type activities. So anyway, I'm just going to do a short video on this because I'm so sick of people hitting me up about this buck breaking mess, and it's false. This is an urban myth. There's no truth to it at all. No information to be found about this. Not even at that. Not only there. One time when I was in there talking to him, he said he was in Washington, D.C., and he went to the Smithsonian Museum of, there's a library at the Smithsonian, trying to find out information. There's nothing to support this. And there is one book, I want to say the name of it. But first off, I really strongly recommend that people go into the Auburn Avenue Research Avenue. If you live in Atlanta, you can even contact them or call them or email them. Auburn Avenue Research Library on African American culture and history. I think people need to find and gain knowledge on their own about certain things. instead of relying on the internet or some fake meme and false stories. Go there, and there's so much information. I really want people to visit that facility and go in and spend a few hours. Take your children down there. Go. Spend some time. Read the books and gain the knowledge in it. They have lists of books. If there's new stuff in there rolling through that door every day, turn off the TV. Get off Facebook. Go learn something. It's frightening to me how we run from education and knowledge, and it just is scary. It's scary to me. I just don't even know how to describe it. Anyway, so please stop sharing those memes and lies and stories about this buck breaking and go get some knowledge and information. And at the end, I'm going to put the link in the description section of this YouTube video. You can click on and read a black historian on a site called Reddit wrote a massive, there's a question somebody asks, is this true about buck breaking? He breaks it down and tells you no, it's false. And he goes into the reasons why it's false. And he has data, information, historical knowledge of why this information, this buck breaking, is false and fake. People use this buck breaking as a way of saying this is why you're gays in Black America. There were gays all over Africa. In fact, when you go to the Auburn Avenue Research on African American culture, ask them about information about homosexuality in books about gays in Africa prior, and you will learn a hell of a lot. People need to start learning. You need to, knowledge is power. There's something wrong in our community, how we run from knowledge in education. It frightens me. It's scary. And maybe the reasons why we're stuck in so many places, mentally and physically. Maybe that's the reason why Niggerville exists. And Niggerville is in such despair because of a lack of education, us not seeking out education and knowledge on our own. If you like my videos, click like, share them with family members and friends. I'm out of here today and again. It is Tuesday, September 25th, the year is 2018. I'm out of here. Enjoy your day.